everyone. My name is Jacqueline Walliser, and I am the owner of and attorney at the Walliser Law Firm. Thank you so much for joining me today for this video and the educational video series that we're doing on estate planning tools, legal planning tools for your families. The goal in doing this is to fill a huge education gap that I see in our society and to help people avoid some of the legal messes that I have to walk some of my clients through. In the previous videos, which if you haven't seen, I would recommend you go back and watch, we've been talking about the importance of designating someone to make legal, financial, or healthcare decisions for you when you can't make them for yourself. Now, this has to be done through typically a general durable power of attorney or healthcare power of attorney, where you are specifically granting a certain agent the ability to make legal, financial, or healthcare decisions for you. And you must sign this when you are mentally capable of doing so. You have to have the mental capacity to grant someone the power to do these things. It's so important to have because if you don't have these things, then there will be no one that could talk to your bank or your doctor or your cable company. And this doesn't necessarily just apply in the situation of incompetence or incapacity. It could also apply in situations where you're out of the country. So let's say that I am out of the country and I notice some weird things going on with my bank account. So I ask my mother to go to the bank to talk to them about it. What is she going to do? What are they going to tell her when she gets there? Well, they're actually not going to talk to her because I haven't granted her the power to talk to the bank about my legal and financial issues. So that can create a problem. Now, that's a problematic situation, but it can be remedied because you still can at that point draft a general durable power of attorney or healthcare power of attorney to grant whomever you want to have those powers. However, it can be a much bigger problem in the next situation. So let's say that I do have a mom, and my mother, let's say she has Alzheimer's, and she's been put into the nursing home, and I get a medical bill, and I notice some weird things about the medical bill. It's just not adding up. It doesn't look right. So I call the medical company or the doctor's office, and I ask about what's going on. Are they going to talk to me? No, unfortunately, they're not. But I'm in a sticky situation because my mom really needs someone to be able to talk to the doctor about what's going on. But since my mom now has Alzheimer's, she can't execute a general durable power of attorney or healthcare power of attorney granting me the power to do that. So I'm left in this terrible limbo where I need to take care of my mom and I need to take care of her affairs, but I simply can't do that. And she can't execute anymore. So what do you do in this point? It does seem like you're stuck, doesn't it? Well, the good news is that there's another way for me to get the ability to make legal, financial, or healthcare decisions for my mother. However, this way is a lot longer, a lot more costly, and it goes through the courts. How do you do this? You do it through a conservatorship, also known as a guardianship. So being a conservator means that I would have the ability to make legal, financial, and healthcare decisions for my mother. But I have to get that ability from the court. The first thing I'm going to have to do is get the written opinion of doctors saying that my mother can no longer make decisions for herself. Then I'm going to have to petition the court to get the right to make these decisions for my mother to help take care of her. Then the court is going to set a hearing date, and there will be a hearing where evidence is produced and witnesses are put on the stand. At this hearing, the judge is trying to determine whether or not my mother truly can't make decisions for herself anymore, and whether or not I'm the right person to make those decisions for her, to have the power to make those decisions for her. So there's a lot of witnesses and evidence being produced to those issues. Witnesses are going to testify in regards to maybe some things that my mom has done that, show that she unfortunately just doesn't have it anymore. I'm going to talk about my ability to handle her money and to handle her health care and to make those decisions for her. And then at the end of that, the judge may grant me the right to make decisions for my mother. Now, this takes at least a minimum 3 months to get through, during which time I can't do anything for my mom. It costs typically at a minimum $2,500. And more than anything, it's an emotionally draining process on everyone. The hardest part about this that I see my clients struggle with is truly just the emotional side. Getting up on the stand and having to admit to a judge that your mother has lost it and having to explain in a story form examples of that. It's just really difficult for everyone to walk through. Now, the good news is you can avoid that whole process by simply spending a little bit of time and money right now to make sure that you are granting someone, an agent, the ability to make healthcare, legal, and financial decisions for you. Trust me when I tell you that you do not want to put your family through the conservatorship process. I've walked a couple people through it, and it's absolutely no fun. Please take the time and the little bit of money that you need to spend now to take care of this issue. So, thank you for joining me for today's video. I hope you learned a lot and are now better prepared to care for your family. In this next upcoming video that we're going to be doing in a couple of weeks, I'm going to switch gears a bit and start talking about your assets, the importance of how you legally own those assets, maybe if you should give assets away, or probatable assets. What does that look like? If you have been enjoying these videos and the content of the videos, I'm including a link below to my website where you can subscribe for a monthly newsletter where I will cover exclusive content covering these topics in more detail and adding in new information to what we've already discussed here. So thank you so much again for joining me. I hope you have a great day and that you learned a lot.